Alright, hello guys, it's Danny once again, and I'm going to be giving you guys a lap guide on this week's daily race B, which is in Maggiore, and we are in the Gr3 cars. So before we get to the lap guide, I want to show you guys, since we have tuning back for this week, we have the differential and the suspension tuning. You can see the OP car for this week is the Nissan GTR 2018. But we did our lap in the Supra, which is actually a viable choice. It's not going to be the best car here. This car can probably do low 55s. Our lap, not a perfect lap, but it's still an alright lap, shall I say. So we messed around with the tune for a bit with this car. So yeah, it's quite competitive here. It's not going to be as great as the Nissan, but it'll be generally competitive in the races. You can see 10-10 anti-roll 25-30, 40-35 dampers, 3.00 and 3.05. I'll explain why I'm using this frequency in a bit. And the differential 565 is usual. So without further ado, let's get to the lap guide, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, we start the lap here at the last corner. Trying to take a tight line on the last corner there, as you can see, to get the car to rotate. So for turn 1, your first braking point is when you're pretty much level with the pit exit wall. That's when you're braking. Since you're on the hard tires, you have to brake earlier as opposed to when you're on the mediums or soft. So braking a bit early there. So down first gear for the rotation, let the car rotate. Off throttle, so quickly reach the brakes and the car rotate on the curb. Up to second gear quickly to get the power down early. Then once you straighten the car again here for turn 2, you are braking down to first gear, let the car coast. Then as you are approaching the end of the apex, quickly outshift to second gear and then apply a little bit of throttle. And then since you are having the headwind effect on the exit of turn 2, you can pretty much throttle, apply the full throttle input straight away, and you won't get the wheel spin. Actually, you get a very stable acceleration. So for those wondering why the car was why I'm using 3.00 3.05, as you can see, I got a little bit of extra rotation at when the car was coasting a little bit at turn 1, and it applies to a lot of corners here as well. So you get the extra rotation off throttle, but also the car won't snap off throttle. So over here for turn 3, I'm just coasting at the start of the curb, cutting the curb a little bit, going out to 4th gear to get a more stable corner exit. And then when the car is kind of like in the middle of the track here, pretty much at the start of the advertisement board on the left hand side, I'm pretty much braking down the first gear. So when the car is skimming the inside curb of turn 4, I'm already going up to get the 3rd gear, and then again headwind effect, I can just smash the throttle down in 3rd gear and rev the car out a little bit. So I'm just revving it out on the mid gears, but from 4th to 5th and 5th to 6th gear, I'm shifting it earlier. So for the bank hairpin here of turn 5, end of the grey curb on the outside, start of the drainage cover on the left hand side. As you can see, I'm already braking in it's a bank corner, so I'm pretty much trying to brake in a straight line, and then as I'm releasing the brakes, I'm pretty much off. I can pretty much let the car turn and rotate. So you can cut a little bit of the inside curb here to get a nice, to take a slightly narrower corner exit line. That way you can reduce the time loss if as opposed to running a little bit off camber in the mid corner. So I can pretty much, as you can see my throttle input there, I'm just averaging about 97% throttle input over there, just to let the car, avoid losing the rear if I just smash on the throttle, because this car has a bit of turbo on it, so you don't want the turbo to just snap. So for the S's here, pretty much braking at the start, the outside curb here, down the 3rd gear. With the hard tires, you have to turn the car a little bit more, but with the setup, it's and running the 3.05 frequency on the rear, you have just a little bit more bite on the rear. So I'm just turning a little bit less than usual. So and then shifting out to 4th again for the corner exit, and then I'm taking this middle part of the SS flat. But keep in mind the track limits here. You want to keep at least 2 wheels, not only on this curb, but the track limit actually extends up to this small thin grey curbing just next to the grass here. So you can keep 2 wheels here. As long as you have 2 wheels here, it's the most optimal line, and you can just floor it there without any penalty. So for the middle part, I had to lift a bit because again, hard tires, you have very little grip. You can't carry a lot of speed on these SS here, so just that lifter is fine. And then shifting out the 5th gear pretty early there. Then crossing sector 2 with a 1 minute 1.297. Then upsetting the 6th gear over there, around 90% left limiter. So the braking point here is pretty much at the end of the green barrier for this hairpin here. So down the 1st gear. I think many of you guys use 2nd gear. 2nd gear for the exit is also fine, but you want stability on the exit, so I go with 3rd gear. 3rd gear on the exit here. 3rd gear helps you. With 3rd gear, you can pretty much floor it on the throttle as early as you can, and you still get decent rotation. So the only mistake there, as you can see, I lifted off the throttle earlier. I'll go back here, yeah. Take note of this. This part is actually flat. You just have to turn it in, like at the start of this curve, you can slowly start turning in more towards, you want to take the line that attacks the inside curb flat. And I didn't turn enough on time, so I had to lift and then upshift earlier to avoid a massive understeer. So that cost me like about a 10th, up to a 10th pretty much. So you can cut the second part of that mini SS as well. That second part, you can cut a lot of that grass and curb, but be careful, otherwise you get the car to like oversteer a lot due to the instability on the curb. So crossing with a 126.939, and then for the last sector here, so for the double right-hander, you're pretty much braking when you're close to the 50-meter board over here, 50-meter board. So 12 braking, as you can see, I apply about 60% braking and then gradually releasing it as the car's rotating off throttle. So down the 2nd gear for rotation, then up to 3rd again. End of this curb here in the middle of the double right, down the 2nd for the rotation, and then up to 3rd gear again. And as the car is going to be attacking on the curb, you can already floor it on the throttle straight away. You guys are understand, but the headwind that you're going to get will help you rotate the car a bit. So for the final corner, you're pretty much braking at the last Maggiore signboard on the right hand side, or the last advertisement board on the left hand side. That's a braking marker over there. Down the 3rd gear for the rotation, let the car rotate off throttle, mid corner, and once you feel the grip is there, or pretty much in the middle of the total signboards over here, you can just floor it in 4th gear, bring the steering back towards the center, let the car rotate, and just hold it still there, and that's a lap of Maggiore for this week's Daily Race B on racing hard tires. And of course, you can't forget the tune, which I already gave the Supra tune at the beginning of the video, so I'll put some timestamps on these videos to get an easier reference. So without further ado, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll leave you guys to the lap without a commentary. Take care, bye bye.